Mr. Brown.
Violence is useful, yes. And so once you're in a space that you understand, because few of you came under the comments and didn't understand it. Once you've gotten to a space where you understand that life is all about violence, right? As a man, you're always going to be in conflict with violence. You know why? Because what? If you come up to a man and you talk crazy, he can proceed to you with violence, right? If you want to get crazy with a woman, who is the woman going to call? Another man to come deal with you. The police, usually men, to come deal with men. You have to understand that violence is always going to be around you. So if you're a man who stands for something or has anything behind him of substance, you should fucking learn how to be violent. Learn how to be violent. Learn how to think violent. Learn how to have undertones while you talk with violence, right? Learn how to stand on your boundaries and be able to protect them with violence. You can't violently protect yourself or violently protect the ones that you love, your family, your children, your wife. You can't protect them with you being some cuck bitch. If you're some skinny dweeb who always just talks behind a fucking computer screen, you're not gonna know how to do this in real life. If you're a fat slob, you're also not gonna be able to talk back or combat anybody. And even for the muscular dudes who feel like, oh, I go to the gym, I'm a bodybuilder. Bro, a smaller dude than you will whoop your ass if he's good at any sort of martial art or hand-to-hand combat. So it's not just, oh, I need to be able to talk like I'm violent or walk like I'm violent or look like I'm violent because to me, I just go to the gym just to fill your egos. This is a deeper matter, bro. You better learn how to fucking defend yourself. You better learn how to use a weapon. You better know how to have hand-to-hand combat, right? You know knife play, right? You better learn how to shoot a gun. God forbid you don't know how to shoot a gun. Because nowadays, people don't really do the hand-to-hand combat. They just get the drawing. So if you don't got the gun on you, bro, you might get caught slipping. But the point of the matter is, the more dangerous you become as a man, the more violent you sit in the spectrum, you will start to understand that not only is being violent important, but the other side of the coin is that you have to be insanely disciplined. You have to be able to control your emotions. You have to have the emotional intelligence to understand when to draw for your violent bag and when to leave it and set it aside and walk away respectfully. Like I said in the last video, everything should be led with respect. If you respect a man, he will leave you alone. If he disrespects you and you still lead with respect, he more than likely will leave you alone, right? But it's only the knuckleheads who have no emotional intelligence to understand that, okay, you need to roll with respect so that you can get granted respect. Because what men do that have crazy ass egos that feel like they need to prove themselves to people, which means they're insecure and they don't have the emotional intelligence. What that usually indicates is that yes, they're insecure, one, but two, they're highly dangerous because they have the capability of being violent, but they don't know how to control their emotions enough to not cause or inflict pain on things that don't need it. So you might, for example, bump into somebody on the street and all you need to do, step back, assess, and just say really quickly, it's literally like you step back, you assess the situation, and you nod your head and say, I apologize, right? And the dude usually will leave you alone and say, okay, cool. Like, no problem, bro. Keep rolling, right? And 95% of the fucking male population are pussies anyways. So you're gonna bump into somebody who's nowhere as capable as you are, and all you have to do is bow and say, yep, respect, bro, my apologies, have a great day, and walk away. Being that you're the more violent one, right? And they're gonna do the same. But if you're some smaller dude comes up to you, or someone that's not as dangerous as you are, you can see he may not have it in him, because it literally is a thing you can feel and see in people. If a smaller dude hits you and bumps into you and you fucking crash out, now you've taken someone's life and you've now putting yourself in a position to fuck up your own life, which will then cause a domino effect onto your family. Your girl will no longer have a man to protect her. Your child may be fatherless now, right? People have to watch you suffer, all because of what? Your emotional fucking mishap? So get in control of your emotions. Understand that violence, yes, is something that you should have, and you should know how to use it. And use it very, very quickly, right? You need to know how to turn it on like a light switch. However, it doesn't get turned off until all of the triggers are triggered. It's like a nuclear button. Nukes don't just get hit off because one person wants to fire one. No, you got the codes, right? And then people have to be approved to do it. Like, you have to be approved to hit that button through other checkpoints. So create that same system in your own brain. If someone was disrespectful to you, lead with respect, right? If they then hit you with another piece of disrespect, okay, cool, that's one trigger. They might try to attack the people that are with you, another trigger. Okay, cool. Are they about to crash out and do something dumb that can impact innocent people? Another trigger. Right? So it's not just, oh, I get disrespected and I crash out. Fuck no. Take your time to assess the matter. Right? See exactly what you need to do to diffuse the situation. Lead with respect, diffuse the situation, and carry on about your day. It should be a rare occurrence that you inflict pain to people. Violence is something that is it's seated in all of us. And we all best know how to use it at the right time and when to trigger it, because that's what makes you a strong man. The basis of a strong man is violence. You understand that the society is all about the capability of men being violent. You crash out, police will be called. More time than not, the police will be a man to deal with your crazy ass. Right? You want to act crazy? You want to act crazy towards a man? What's going to happen? Violence. You want to act crazy towards a woman or a child? What are they going to do? Call the person that they trust to be violent for them. Right? So it's all about a society. Society, in my opinion, is all about the violence that men can put onto the world, but it needs to be controlled with several triggers that stop you at all times and make you think before you use it. Because when you use that violence card, it can't be taken back. And sometimes it is very catastrophic. And that's where you see violence going crazy. So sometimes you better check yourself. I promise. And it's like this thing where I always talk about self-development. Self-development is one of those things where you have to be good at self-development. You have to be good at reflection. You have to be good at understanding yourself emotionally. Because all of these things that I'm talking about are very serious things that you have within you that you better not use unless you have to. But if your emotional intelligence is shit, and your awareness in your situational awareness is shit, you're going to use it all the time, get yourself in a boatload of trouble. And I bet if you ask any ex-convict that got into trouble because of any sort of violence card that they used, they will tell you that my emotions were unstable, or I was insecure, or I needed a little bit more time understanding of myself and how to use the powers that I had within me. Like, it's a real thing. So it's not just, self-development and done. No, it's self-development and then understand how to implement all of the things that you hear from me, all the things that you hear from those other videos you watch, the podcasts, the books you read, everything. You need to learn how to implement all of this, because when I talk about these topics, the only way that you're going to understand it is if you have already done the self-awareness to then put in place the violence that I may talk about, or the understanding of negotiation that I talk about. Or the man, like using that man within you to confront all the other conflicts that may come up in your life, which is usually that you can use violence with. So it's like, do your fucking self-reflection and really implement all of the things that you know you need to. It's not a one-stop shop, and it's not an overnight process, but it's an elongated system that you have to put in place within yourself, so that when these topics come up, you know how to then implement being violent without understanding it like a fucking child and thinking that you should pick up a gun and go shoot somebody. Let's be real. That's not how this shit works anyways, right? So take your time, work on your emotional intelligence, and understand that violence is all around you. And if you're a man, you better go get into classes like jiu-jitsu, martial arts, learn how to use a knife, learn how to fucking shoot a gun, learn how to swim, learn how to be very capable. The more capable you are, the more dangerous you are. And the more dangerous you are, the stronger you are, right? Or the stronger you can be if you know how to use them correctly. So work on these things, bro, and come back to me, because we got a lot of shit to cover, bro. Boy, Mr. Brown.